Hello viewers, welcome to May-June 2011 WAEC, also known as WASI, Past Questions and Detailed Solution, General Mathematics, Mathematics Core Paper 2, Part 2. This part contains questions 6 to 13, about 8 questions, and you are expected to answer 5 questions in this part. Solution to 8 questions in one video. Question 6. In a class of 40 students, 18 passed mathematics, 19 passed accounts, 16 passed economics, 5 passed mathematics and accounts only, 6 passed mathematics only, 9 passed accounts only, 2 accounts and economics only. If each student offered at least one of the subjects, A, part of the question, how many students failed in all subjects? B, find the percentage number that failed in at least one of economics and mathematics. C, calculate the probability that a student picked at random failed accounts. Solution. Let us define the subsets as follows. M represents mathematics, A represents accounts, E represents economics. From the question, the total number of students in the class represents the universal set or the union of the 3 subsets, and that is 40. Those that pass mathematics, 18. Those that passed account, 19. Economics, 16. Mathematics and account only, 5. Mathematics only, 6. Accounts only, 9. Accounts and economics only, 2. Now the intersection, those that passed the 3 subjects, they are unknown. Let S denote that. From the question, we know mathematics and accounts only. We know accounts and economics only. So let's denote mathematics and economics only by Y, because no value is given for it. We also know mathematics only, we know accounts only, but we don't know economics only. So let Z denote economics only. So you have the Venn diagram. The rectangle denotes universal set and the circle the subset. So this part alone is only mathematics, 6. Here is only accounts, 9. Here is only economics, Z. Here is only account and economics, 2. Only mathematics and account, 5. Only mathematics and economics, Y. Then intersection of the 3 subsets is S. To get S, Y, and Z, it is better that we start by getting S, because in the subset of accounts, if you add everything there, you equate it to 19. Now, you cannot use the usual procedure of adding everything and equating it to the universal set because of letter S, Y, and Z. Here, you have to use the subset respectively to get the various missing parts. The account subset can be used to get S. So you add everything in account subset. That is 9 plus 5 plus 2 plus S. You equate it to 19. If you add further, you get this. you transfer 16 to the right hand side. S is equal to 19 minus 16, and that is 3. To get y, since S is known, you can use the subset for mathematics. If you add everything there, you equate it to 18. S is equal to 3, so y is equal to 18 minus 14. 14 is the sum of 3 and 11. If you transfer it, it becomes minus 14. When you subtract, you have 4. To get Z, you use the subset for economics. If you add everything in that subset, you equate it to 16. Already S and Y are known. You replace them. When you add further, you get this. You transfer plus 9 to the right hand side. Z is equal to 16 minus 9, and that is 7. Now we have the complete Venn diagram. A part of the question, we have to find the number of students that failed all 3 subjects. From the information, we know those that pass all 3 subjects. For you to get those that failed all 3 subjects, let the number be F. So you subtract it from the universal set and equate it to the addition of all the elements in the universal set. That gives this. If you transfer minus F to the right and 36 to the left, you have this result, and F is equal to 4. B part of the question, find percentage that failed at least one of economics and mathematics. Now the whole question, you can take it as 100%. For you to get those that failed at least one of economics and mathematics, you need to subtract the percentage of those that pass, because it is easier for us to get the percentage of those that passed at least one of economics and mathematics. Once you get that percentage, you subtract it from 100. That gives the percentage of those that failed at least one of economics and mathematics. Number that passed at least one of economics and mathematics can be obtained using this formula. You have only economics plus only mathematics plus the intersection of both, and that is 17. If you express it in percentage, you have 17 over total students in the class, 40 times 100%. That simplifies to 42.5%. Now, percentage that failed at least one of economics and mathematics is 100 minus 42.5, and that is 57.5%. C part of the question, you should find the probability that a student picked at random failed accounting. Now, those that failed accounting plus those that passed accounts is equal to 1 or 100%. So, if you make those that failed the subject, it becomes 1 minus probability of those that pass accounts. So, those that pass accounts, the probability is number that passed accounts over total students, that is 19 over 40. For those that failed, the probability becomes 1 minus those that pass. That simplifies to this, and you have 21 over 40 as the probability of those that failed accounts. Question 7a, divide s squared minus 4 over s squared plus s by s squared minus 4s plus 4 over s plus 1. This is the meaning of that question. We need to change division sign to multiplication. As that is going on, you invert this fraction to this form. By difference of two squares, if you factorize this, you get this. If you factor out s from here, you get this result. This is already in simplest form. It remains the same. You factorize this term, you get this result. You cancel out common terms. S plus 1 will remove s plus 1. S minus 2 remove s minus 2. So you are left with s plus 2 in the numerator and the product of s and s minus 2 in the denominator. Question 7b. The diagram shows the graphs of y equal to as squared plus bs plus c and y equal to ms plus k, where a, b, c, m and k are constants. Use the graphs to, remember figure 1, find the roots of the equation as squared plus bs plus c equal to ms plus k. The left hand side is the curve and the right is the line. The solution is simply the points of intersection of the curve and the line. Let us get that right away. So this is one point of intersection. This is another point of intersection. The scale on the s-axis, in fact both axes, 2 centimeters to 1 unit. That implies that one line is equal to 0.1. If you start counting from -1, you have it at this point, and that is -1.5. That is one solution. If you start counting from 1 as well, you have it at this point. That should be 1.6. So the solution is -1.5 or 6 or 1.6. Roman figure 2, determine the values of A, B and C using the coordinates of points L, M and N. Hence, write the equation of the curve. So you have this coordinate at this point when y is 0, s is -1. Another one is here when s is 0, y is 2. Another one is here when y is 0, s is 2. When you are doing it using coordinate, you start with the intercept on the y-axis. At this point, s is equal to 0. So if you put s equal to 0 in this equation, you have y equal to 2. That is this point. So you put y equal to 2 and s equal to 0. That gives c equal to 2. So once you get c as 2, you use the other coordinates to form two equations. You solve them simultaneously for a and b so that you can write the equation. After doing that, it becomes very easy to get the line of symmetry of the curve. Solution continue. I've already explained the answer you ought to have. So I have already answered Roman figure 1 of the question. The solution occurs at the points of intersection of the curve and the line, and you have s equal to minus 1.5 or 1.6. To find A, B, and C, you have the 3 coordinates. Like I said earlier, you can start from the y-intercept or any one precisely, but taking y-intercept will give us C. Of course, you need to replace C in the remaining equations. All right, so we have the first point there, L, when s is minus 1, y is 0. If you replace them in this equation, you have this result. So let's call it equation 1. The second coordinate, when s equal to 0, y is equal to 2. If you replace the two values in this equation, you have it in this form. And as I said earlier, c is equal to 2. The third coordinate, when s equal to 2, y is equal to 0. If you replace the two values in this equation, you have this, and that is this. Okay, so you substitute equation 2 into equation 1 and 3. That is, you want to replace c equal to 2 in equation 1 and equation 3. So if you do that, you get this equation. From equation 1, you have a minus b plus c, that is 2, equal to 0. If you transfer plus 2 to the right hand side, you have a minus b equal to minus 2. So let's call that equation 4. Then if you take equation 3 and replace c with 2, when you transfer it to the right hand side, you have this result. If you divide through by 2, you have this result. So let's call that equation 5. So solve equations 4 and 5 simultaneously using elimination method. Okay, let's check the two equations 5 and 4. We can eliminate b by adding. B has the same coefficient in both equations. So let's start by eliminating b, and you do that by adding since the signs are opposite. So if you add, you have 3a equal to minus 3. That implies a is equal to minus 1. To get b, you need to substitute a equal to minus 1 into equation 4 or equation 5. Here we have equation 4. You replace a with minus 1 minus b equal to minus 2. To make b positive, transfer it to the right hand side and transfer minus 2 to the left. It becomes plus, and b is equal to 1. So a is equal to minus 1, b is equal to 1, and c is equal to 2. So you come back to this equation and replace a, b, c with their respective values, and you have the equation that you are asked to write. Roman figure 3, the equation on the line of symmetry of the curve is obtained using this. From the previous solution, b is 1. Because b here is negative, it becomes minus 1. A is minus 1. So 2 times minus 1 becomes minus 2. That becomes 1 over 2, and you have 0.5. In other words, the equation of the line of symmetry of the curve is s equal to 0.5. Pythagoras simplified maths If you are watching and view from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe for more update, like and share PSM videos. If you are watching and view from Facebook, follow and like the page for more updates. Also share PSM videos. Question 8a. Given that sin S is equal to 0.60 degrees less than equal to S less than equal to 90 degrees, evaluate 2 cos S plus 3 sin S, leaving your answer in the form of m over n, where m and n are integers. Solution. Now, to get this expression, cos S is needed because sine that is given is the ratio of opposite to hypotenuse. Cosine is the ratio of adjacent to hypotenuse, meaning adjacent is needed. You simply use the information about sine to complete the right angle triangle. Sin S is equal to this. If you convert to ordinary fraction, you have 6 over 10 reduced by 2, you have 3 over 5. So angle S is acute, this is opposite, this is hypotenuse. By Pythagoras rule, this is adjacent and you have 4. So you can get cos S. Cos S becomes adjacent, that is 4 over hypotenuse 5. Then 2 cos S, you multiply that value by 2 and you have 8 over 5. For 3 sin S, you multiply this value by 3 and you have 9 over 5. Therefore, 2 cos S plus 3 sin S is equal to 8 over 5 plus 9 over 5. You have like fractions. You simply add the numerators over denominator 5 and you have 17 over 5. Now in the form of m over n. Question 8b. In the diagram, a semicircle WSYZ with center O is inscribed in an isosceles triangle ABC. If AC is equal to BC, OC is equal to 30 degrees, and angle ABC 130 degrees. Calculate correct to 1 decimal place. Roman figure 1, radius of the circle. Roman figure 2, area of the shaded portion. Solution. From A to B is diameter. To get the radius, you simply join O to S or you join O to Y. In fact, you join both. After doing that, this becomes the radius. This angle is 90 because angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. From the question, the whole of this angle is 130 degrees. Half of it becomes 65 degrees. Now, this radius is opposite because it is facing the acute angle. The longest side facing the right angle is hypotenuse. So considering either triangle OSC or OYC, the radius and 30, they are connected using sine 65 degrees equal to opposite radius over hypotenuse 30. If you make radius the subject, you have this result. If you simplify further, you have this. When you multiply 27.189 to 1 decimal place, you have 27.2 centimeters as the radius of the circle. Roman figure 2, area of shaded portion is area of triangle ABC minus area of semicircle. Now, triangle ABC is divided into two triangles and they are equal. Once you get the area of one, you multiply it by 2. So we have 2 times area of triangle AOC. This is the one we are considering, and the area is half times base times height. Now the base is OA. OA is unknown, so you have to get it. The height is 30. So if this angle is 65 degrees, to get OA, you have opposite, then here is, okay, we have opposite, considering this angle, this is opposite, and you have this as, okay, this is hypotenuse. Now taking it from here, so AC is hypotenuse, OA is opposite, and OC is adjacent. That must be tan. So we use tangent of 65 degrees along OA and OC to get OA. Let us see to that. I have already explained all of this. Now, area of triangle AOC is this. This is the area of semicircle. If 2 cancel 2, you have this result. OA is needed. Considering triangle AOC, you have this result. As I have said earlier, you make OA the subject, you have this. When you simplify and multiply, you have 64.335 cm. Area of shaded portion is equal to OA times OC minus area of semicircle. This is pi and this is radius squared. If you simplify, you get this result and this. When you subtract, you have 768.3845 to 1 decimal place. You have 768.4 square centimeters as the area of the shaded portion. Question 9. Using ruler and a pair of compasses only, construct a rhombus PQRS of side 7 cm and angle PQR equal to 60 degrees. B. Locate point S such that S lies on the locus of points equidistant from PQ and QR, and also equidistant from Q and R. C part, you are asked to measure S arrow. You are asked to measure S arrow. So let's see how we can do that. Solution. Because of the practical nature and demonstration involved in construction, please consult your mathematics teacher, but I'm going to illustrate the possible outcome when you do that consultation. You know, for a rhombus, all the sides are equal, and as you are doing that, you must look at this and this they have point Q in common, and the angle 60 is also located at Q. So from here you have to draw this line and you measure it 7 cm. So let this be Q arrow, let it be Q arrow. So from this point you need to construct angle 60 degrees. You can do that. So if you construct it, that will take you to PQ. So somewhere here is going to be P. So this angle here is 60 degrees. All right. Now you can measure this as 7 cm, then this 7 cm. Now you should locate point S such that S lies on the locus of points equidistant from PQ and Q arrow. This is PQ, this is Q arrow. So you come here. So if you come here from this point now, you draw one arc here and you draw another arc here. Then you come to this point also, you draw another arc, and from the same point you draw another arc equal distance. Then you join it together. It ought to be a straight line. You join it together. Now also equidistance from Q and arrow, just from Q and arrow. So from that point, if you put it here, you can draw one arc here, then you draw one here, you put it here, you draw another arc, then you join both together. It's like the bisector of the angle. So this point is S now, this is S, and you are asked to measure S arrow. This is the possible outcome if you do that construction. Pittacus Simplified Maths. If you are watching and viewing from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like and share PSM videos. If you are watching and viewing from Facebook, follow and like the page for more updates. Also share PSM videos. Question 10a. The total surface area of two spheres are in ratio 9:49. If the radius of the smaller sphere is 12 cm, find correct to the nearest cube centimeters the volume of the bigger sphere. The radius of the bigger sphere is needed before you can obtain the volume. Let the total surface area of the smaller sphere be S and the bigger sphere be Y. So you have S ratio Y equal to 9:49. From the question, you can express ratio in fraction, you get this result. So the total surface area of the smaller sphere is this with small arrow, of the bigger sphere is this with capital arrow, equal to 9/49. You can divide 4 pi by 4 pi here. You are left with arrow square over arrow square. Radius of smaller sphere is 12. So you have 12 squared over capital arrow squared equal to 9/49. If you make arrow square the subject, you have this result. That simplifies to this, and arrow is the square root of this, which is 7 times 4, and you have 28 cm. Volume of bigger sphere is this. You simply replace the radius with 28 to the power of 3. If you simplify, you get this. When you multiply and divide, you get this. To the nearest cube centimeters, you have 91,898 cube centimeters as the volume of the bigger sphere. Question 10b. A cyclist starts from a point S and rides 3 kilometers due west to point Y. At Y, he changes direction and rides 5 kilometers northwest to a point Z. Remember figure 1. How far is he from the starting point? Correct to the nearest kilometer. Remember figure 2. Find the bearing of Z from S to the nearest degree. That is very simple. The cyclist is somewhere here. This is the west direction. He faces this direction to point Y. Now, in this point, you have the north and you have the west. So the cyclist took this direction to a point Z, so you can join these 2 points together. You see that? So this is 3 kilometers. Here is 5 kilometers. This angle here is 90 degrees. Now, from west to north is 90 degrees, but northwest is half of it. That is 45 degrees. So here is 45 degrees, and the whole of this angle becomes 135 degrees. We are trying to see how we can use cosine rule to get this side. So the angle facing this side is known. You know this side, you know this side. Of course, you can use cosine rule to get the distance from the starting point. The cyclist is now here. This is the starting point. You can get this distance. Roman figure 1. How far is he from the starting point is the distance between S and Z, or Z and S. Cosine rule is applicable here. So this is the rule. The side you are looking for, the angle facing that side is always given. You can see that here clearly, 135 degrees. So you replace other sides with what they stand for. You simplify, you get this result. When you multiply and add, you get this result. To get SY, you need to take the square root of both sides, and you have this result, and that is 7.4305. To the nearest kilometer, you have 7 kilometers. Remember figure 2, the bearing of S of Z from S. This is Z, this is S. The bearing is 3 digits. So you have to start from the north to that point that join Z and S together. Now, from here to here alone is 270. That is 3 quadrants together. This remaining angle theta is needed. So the bearing is 270 degrees plus theta. Theta is needed, which is obtained using sine rule. The side facing theta is known, this angle is known, and this side is known. So you can use sine rule stated in this form. And you have it in this form. If you make sine theta the subject, you have this result. If you first cross multiply and divide both sides by this coefficient of sine theta, so you have it in this form. When you simplify, you get this, and when you divide, you get this. To get theta, you take the inverse of sine of this value. That is inverse of sine of 0.4 that is 28.41 degrees. Therefore, bearing of Z from S is 270 degrees plus 28.41 degrees. That gives 298.41 degrees. To the nearest degrees, you have 298 degrees. Question 11. The table shows the scores obtained when a fair die was thrown a number of times. This is the outcome, the 6 sides, and the number of times each side appeared. But side 3 appeared S time. You need to get S. If the probability of obtaining a 3 is 0.26, find the A part of the question, median, B, standard deviation of the distribution. The reason why the probability of obtaining a 3 is given to you is to enable you get S. It is as simple as that. This question is experimental probability, and probability of obtaining 3 is equal to the number of times that 3 appeared. That is frequency of 3, which is S over total frequencies. So let's do that and get the value of S before the median and the standard deviation can be calculated. So probability of obtaining 3 is 0.26. Number of times 3 appeared, you have S times, and sum of all the frequencies. So you have it in this form. If you add everything here, you have 37 plus S, because you cannot add S to the rest numbers. You have this result. You cross multiply to clear fraction, you have this. If you open this bracket, you have this result. Now let's transfer this term to the left hand side, like terms collection. You have this result. When you subtract, you get this. To get S, divide both sides by 0.74. That is this, and you have 13. So side 3 appeared 13 times. So median. For median, let us have the complete table. When the data involve frequency, to get the median class first, you need to get sum of frequency. If you add all together, you have 50. 50 is an even total. To get the median class, you divide sum of frequency by 2. If here is an odd total, to avoid decimal number, you add 1 to it so that 2 can divide it. If you divide 50 by 2, you have the 25th position. In other words, to get the median score, you keep on adding the frequencies until you get to 25th position. So you come here. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 is not the 25th position. Then 7 plus 13, you have 20. 20 is not the 25th position. If you add 20 to 11, you have 31. So 25th position is contained where you have 31, the sum of the first 4 frequency, and the score that corresponds to that position is 4. Therefore, median score is equal to 4. B part of the question, standard deviation of the distribution. You can use any of these two formulas. If you are going by this, you need to get the mean, that is S bar. But with this, the mean is not needed. I prefer using the second version most times. To use that formula, you need to create other columns and add to the table. The table has two columns by default, that is called S, frequency F. So let's add Fs. Let's get S squared and Fs squared. To get Fs, you multiply S by F. 1 times 2, 2. 2 times 5, 10, and so on. To get S squared, you square each value of S here. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and so on. To get Fs squared, you multiply the frequency column by S squared column. That is 2 times 1, you have 2, 5 times 4, you have 20, 13 times 9, you have 117, 11 times 16, 176, 9 times 25, 225, 10 times 36, 360. From the formula, we need summation of F, so you add this one down, you have 50. Summation of Fs is needed, you add this column down and you get 200. Summation of Fs squared is needed, you add this column down and you get 900. So this is the formula. You replace the various parts with what they stand for. Divide 900 by 50, you have 18. Divide 200 by 50, you have 4. 4 squared is 16. If you subtract, you have the root of 2, and that is 1.414 as the standard deviation of the distribution. Pythagoras Simplified Maths. If you are watching and viewing from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe for more updates, like and share PSM videos. If you are watching and viewing from Facebook, follow and like the page for more updates. Also share PSM videos. Question 12a. The area of trapezium PQRS is 60 square centimeters. PQ parallel RS, side PQ equal to 15 cm, RS equal to 25 cm, angle PSR 60 degrees. Calculate the Roman figure 1 perpendicular height of PQRS, Roman figure 2 PS. This diagram illustrates the information. You can see PQ is shorter than ROS. Now, the height is Q to this point or P to this point, and they are equal. For you to get PS, you need to join P to S. From the question, the whole of this angle is 60 degrees, but let's try and get the height first. From the area of trapezium, you can get the height. Area is 60 equal to 1/2 sum of parallel sides times height. If you add the terms in the bracket, you have this result. If you divide 40 by 2, you have 60 equal to 20 times h. To get h, divide both sides by 20. H is equal to 60 divided by 20, and that is 3. Roman figure 2. PS can be found considering triangle PSR. triangle PSR. So we have to get PS, we don't need the whole of this angle, but just half of it. Half of it is 60 degrees divided by 2, that is 30 degrees. This side is the height opposite, that is 3. Then we can take this as hypotenuse. So we have sine 30 degrees equal to 3 over PS. If you make PS the subject, you have this result. That is 3 over 0.5, and that gives 6 cm as side PS. Question 12b. Ade received 3 over 5 of a sum of money. Nelly 1 over 3 of the remainder, while Austin, Nelly 1 over 3 of the remainder, while Austin took the rest. If Austin's share is greater than Nelly's share by 3,000 naira, how much did Ade get? Solution: total amount shared, let it be Y. So Ade's share is 3 over 5Y from the question. So let's get the remainder, because Nelly gets 1 over 3 of the remainder. The remainder is subtracting Austin's share, Ade's share from the total sum of money. You have this expression, and that simplifies to this. Nelly gets 1 over 3 of this remainder. That is what you have here, and that is 2 over 15y. The rest amount is equal to remainder minus Nelly's share. That is what Austin took. Austin took the rest. That is remainder minus Nelly's share. That gives this expression, and you have this result. From the question, Austin's share is greater than Nelly's share by 3,000 naira. So this is Austin's share. If you add 3,000 to Nelly's share, you get Austin's share. So this expression answer that part. So let's collect like terms by transferring this term. You have it in this form. If you simplify the left hand side, you have 2 over 15y equal to 3,000. If you make y the subject, you have 3,000 times 15 divided by 2, and that is 22,500 naira. You are asked to get Ade's share. Ade's share is 3 over 5 of the whole money. That is 3 over 5 times 22,500 naira. That simplifies to 13,500 naira. Question 13a. P varies directly as Q and inversely as the square of arrow. This is the interpretation. P varies directly as Q, the numerator, inversely as the square of arrow, denominator. If P is equal to 1 when Q is equal to 8 and arrow is equal to 2, find the value of Q when P is equal to 3, arrow equal to 5. Now, after the interpretation, in variation, we usually do away with the sign or symbol of variation. You introduce equality sign and a constant of variation that multiplies the right hand side. That is what you have here. The constant is K. The reason why you are given all the three letters is to enable you find K. So you replace P, Q and arrow with what they stands for in the question here at this point. That gives this. If you clear fraction, multiply through by 2 squared, that is 4. You have 4 equal to 8k. Divide both sides by 8. K is equal to 4 over 8, and that is 1 over 2. After getting k, you replace it in this formula or in this step. That gives the formula or equation connecting the three letters, replacing k with 1 over 2. Here 2 is a denominator. It can come down to multiply arrow squared in this form. When P is equal to 3, arrow is equal to 5, Q is unknown. You go back to the formula, you replace P and arrow with what they stands for here to enable you get K. Can see that? So 5 squared is 25 times 2, you have 50. So you have 3 equal to Q over 50. To get Q, multiply through by 50, and Q becomes 3 times 50, and that is 150. Question 13b. An aeroplane flies from tan A, latitude 20 degrees north, longitude 60 degrees east, to tan B, latitude 20 degrees north, longitude 20 degrees east. Remember figure 1. If the journey takes 6 hours, calculate correct to 3 SF the average speed of the aeroplane. Roman figure 2. If it then flies due north from B to C, 420 kilometers away, calculate correct to the nearest degree the latitude of tan C. Working with the given information, you have this latitude is a small circle, this is also the two are the same for both points. So you draw the earth as a sphere, you draw the principal axis north, south, west, east. You draw the reference point, that is the equator, latitude 0 degrees. Now the longitudes are on the east part, so let's draw the prime meridian on the west, that is longitude 0 degrees. After that, after the equator, we have the latitude 20 degrees north of the equator. That is a small circle, is a parallel of latitude, so you draw latitude 20 degrees. Then if you check tan A and B, the first point should be 20 degrees east. So you draw, already you have 0 to the west, you draw 20 degrees east for tan B and 60 degrees east for tan A. So this is latitude 20 degrees, and you have this as longitude 20 degrees east for tan B, and this point is for tan A. If you trace to the center, you get the angular difference by subtraction. The 2 points are on the same side of the prime meridian. So you can can see all the points correctly labeled in the diagram. So we get the average speed. Before the average speed, the distance is needed. The distance is along small circle, so you use distance along small circles formula to get the distance. The time is 6 hours, then you get the average speed as distance over time. Roman figure 1, average speed is distance over time. Distance AB is along parallel of latitude, that is a small circle, and you obtain such a distance using this formula. Now, the angular difference theta, because the points are on the same side of the meridian, you subtract, that is 60 degrees minus 20 degrees, you get 40 degrees. Alpha is the angle along parallel of latitude, that is 20 degrees. So distance AB is equal to this. Of course, capital arrow is the radius of the earth. Whether given to you or not, the value is always 6,400 kilometers. If you reduce and simplify, you get this. If you reduce this 2, you have 1/9. You multiply this by this, you have this result, times 6,400. This is cos 20 degrees. If you multiply the numerator, you have this result over denominator, that gives this. Therefore, average speed is distance over time. Time is 6 hours. If you divide, you get this. To 3SF, you have 700 kilometers per hour. Roman figure 2, you should find the longitude of the flight from B to C. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, the latitude. Yes, latitude of C. Latitude of C. Now, from B to C, the longitude are the same, because you are asked to find latitude of C. Note that half prime meridian is longitude, and because prime meridian is a great circle, all longitudes are also great circle. So the flight from B to C is along great circle. This is the formula for such a distance. Now the distance is given as 420. You want to get the latitude, so you replace the rest parameters with what they stands for. So multiply through by 360 to clear fraction to get theta. Divide through by the product of these three numbers. You have it in this form, which gives this, and you have 3.68 degrees. 3.68 degrees. So latitude of C is 20 degrees plus 3.76. 20 degrees plus 3.76, and that is 24.76 degrees, approximately 24 degrees north. Note that due north implies same longitude but different latitude. And you know, if you are to get angular difference when the points are on different side of the equator, you simply add. So hence we need to add the latitude of B to this point in order to get the latitude of C as 24 degrees north. To end this paper, there is every need for you to be saved. If you are not to be saved, you just have to give your life to the Lord Jesus Christ and confess Him as your Lord and personal Savior every day of your life. If you are saved already, congratulations, live righteously and be prepared, because on the last day, some will be taken and some will be left. Take good care of yourself, stay out of trouble, study your books, do the needful at all times, flee every appearance of evil, don't defraud others to make money, use your hands and your brain to work genuinely and legally, and the Lord will bless you. Goodbye and stay tuned.